25 blushes, 60 lipsticks. Performance Cosmetics are better than anything I've ever tried before, and they're very affordable. Why do I wear Performance Cosmetics? Because it works.
It's the dawn of a new day. Morton Buildings is proud to introduce our latest line, Country Craft Buildings, featuring a great-looking classic style for easy storage solutions at an affordable price. Country Craft Buildings are not do-it-yourself projects. Far from it. Your new Country Craft will be built from the ground up by a licensed and experienced company that's been in business since 1903. Prices start close to an amazing $10,000. Country Craft Buildings by Morton Buildings. Ask about them today by calling 896-6540.
94 FM, The Fish.
My kids call it the happy station.
I love your radio station. It's definitely a feel-good station.
Are you listening?
I listen with my whole family.
Are you listening? 94 FM, The Fish.
Nearly all of you know us by our purple chucks and great service. A lot of you know us for making and installing the most signs in Middle Tennessee. I bet you don't know we supply some of the biggest names in business with sign faces and large banners throughout the United States. We have the most advanced grand format printing anywhere around. Size, color, need it fast and need a lot, no problem. Come and see why Jocelyn & Son Signs continues to be the leader in providing all your signage and banner needs. And remember, if you don't know signs, know your sign man.
If Bobby says it's so, it's so.
Tonight on Nightline, credit discredited. The mortgage market stumbles, sending ripples across the economy and around the world. But one man makes it work for him. If you deal in foreclosures, business is booming. Plus, Green Leo. The Oscar-nominated star plays a new role, bringing his hybrid-loving ways to the big screen, using his celebrity as a call to arms. And what's on his iPod? See why Back to the Future put John Mayer on track for rock stardom. The songs that help mold the musician on the Nightline playlist.
From the global resources of ABC News, with Terry Moran in Washington, Martin Bashir and Cynthia McFadden in New York City, this is Nightline, August 10, 2007.
Good evening, I'm Cynthia McFadden. We begin tonight with the credit crisis in the nation's mortgage market. It got so bad the Federal Reserve Bank today took a drastic step, pumping $38 billion into the banking system, the largest such total for a single day since the panic that followed September 11th. And it helped. After opening the day with a tumble, the Dow closed just slightly down. But how did we get here? Easy credit allowed millions of people to buy homes they couldn't really afford, and lots of those people are now losing those homes. Nightline's John Donovan reports tonight from San Diego, where the number of foreclosures shot up 487%, but where at least one man is doing just fine.
How to read a for sale sign as a sign of trouble? 2 words, bank owned. Which tells you the previous owners went broke.
It kind of looks like folks here kind of cleared out in a bit of a hurry.
Or for whatever other reason did not make their mortgage payments.
You'd be surprised. It's not in a bit of a hurry. They just don't want the stuff or leave it behind.
And now they are out, and the bank owns the house, and it's Mark Carpenter's job to sell it again. Not just this one, but this one also, and this one, and a whole lot of other houses. Because, as Carpenter put it in crystal clear terms while guiding me through San Diego's housing market this afternoon, there are a whole lot of foreclosed houses out here now.
We have our home here. We have one across the street. There's 2 that are just right up the street. This home down over here.
More than he has ever seen in absolute terms.
How many properties now are you carrying that are actually foreclosed upon properties in the bank's hand?
We probably have about 125 assets under management right now.
Carpenter has been in real estate since he was 20, now working out of this Prudential office. He runs the department that helps banks unload foreclosed homes. Because as much as homeowners may hate foreclosure, banks hate it even more.
Banks don't want to have foreclosures on their books. It's not good for them. It was never their intention. They have families too.
That's not how they make money.
No, they lose money. They're losing on this. And you know, in business there are risks, and everything's not always clear, and they never intended for this to happen.
Real estate reps are almost by definition relentlessly optimistic when on camera, And so the good thing Carpenter had to say about where we are today is that he has seen worse.
From a percentage standpoint, 94, 95 in that range was bigger as of today. So yes, I have seen it bigger. I didn't do as much volume as I did back then, so for me, now is the busiest time I've ever had.
But that was a dozen years ago, before the biggest, bubbliest national run-up in real estate prices in U.S. history. And the fear, the very big fear, is that America's real estate foreclosure deluge hasn't even started yet. You want a give-it-to-me-straight-doc kind of guy, go see Guy Cicala, who is not only ready to make depressing predictions about the condo project going up outside his office window in Bethesda, Maryland.
And those condo units are definitely going to be worth less than they were when somebody put down a down payment on them.
He is also, as publisher of newsletters for the real estate industry, got a pretty gloomy forecast of where this whole foreclosure thing could be headed.
A global panic is how I'd classify it. I think it's a very disturbing time because that isn't the worst that's going to happen. There are a lot of other things that could spook the market even worse than that, and it's likely to happen in the next month or so.
But if catastrophe is coming our way, then why was this crowd in Las Vegas jammed into a hotel ballroom last Saturday to buy foreclosed homes at auction? Because there are people like Scott Karosa who picked up 3 houses on this single afternoon.
The values are dropping. I believe that they're dropping in response to some of the lenders that got very aggressive, and now people are paying the price for that.
The feeling in this room, foreclosure is actually a kind of house cleaning, economically speaking.
Pigs get fed and hogs get slaughtered. And when the lenders came out with loans that enabled people to take out 100% loans, 105, 110% loans, when the lenders allowed people to state their income, which really meant lie to me, to say I make $7,000 a month, if that's all I have to say to own the home. So what comes around goes around.
Back here in San Diego, a guy like Mark Carpenter, who does foreclose properties for a living, admits the current trend is good for his end of the business, but the guy has a human streak too, and he says he hates to see families lose their homes. He's also seen some strong reactions from departing homeowners, including some who wreck the place before they close the door.
It looks like the faucets
are
gone, the counters.
Yeah. There was a stovetop that was here in the pictures. There was refrigerator, beautiful vent hood that came down right here.
All missing.
All stainless steel, very top of the line.
In this house, lots of stuff was missing after the owner departed.
So this is not an incompleted kitchen.
No.
This is a kitchen that somebody ripped apart.
This was
after
a
the
kitchen that
foreclosure.
someone came in and ripped apart.
Maybe it was a break-in by outsiders, Carpenter says. Maybe. What really worries him now is that banks will go into a crouch position on lending, making it harder for everyone.
We don't want to have the credit markets tighten so much that we're not able to create buyers in the market or help people who need to refinance once they do have some problems.
And to Guy Cicala on how this could go well beyond the business of buying and selling houses.
The problems we're seeing in the mortgage market that are leading to foreclosure have an impact on all credit. Whether you want to buy a car or whether you want to buy a home, there's a suspicion now that maybe you can't afford it. Prices are going to go up in terms of interest rate, fees, and basically a perception that borrowers, consumers are more of a risk than anybody thought before.
So now you know, bank-owned, 2 words best not to see on a sign on your street or any street. I'm John Donvan for Nightline in San Diego.
And the question remains on Wall Street if these are signs of worse things to come. Our thanks to John Donvan. And just ahead on Nightline, the 11th hour, a new film's very dire predictions about an environmental crisis and the familiar face backing the film, Leonardo DiCaprio.
But you might need just a little help pulling it Why is Jimmy super good?
Because I'm the man, that's why.
No, because he's got super bad Jonah Hill, plus actor David Duchovny.
It's unbelievable. Well, let's not get carried away.
On an all-new Jimmy, coming up on ABC. Start here.
Wednesday night on ABC, go way behind the scenes with the premiere of NASCAR in Prime Time.
When I took my car to Midas for maintenance work, I asked the guy, what parts do you work on? He said,
fuel pumps, alternators, spark plugs, radiators, brake pads, tires and clutch, timing belt, shocks and such.
Midas will fix it and save you a whole lot of money.
So I asked, what cars do you work on? He said,
Acuras, Escalades, Camaries and Renegades, Volvos, Audis 2, Cadillacs and Rendezvous.
Hey, it's your car. Next to your house, it's your second biggest expense. Have your maintenance done by a locally owned and operated expert.
Trust the Midas touch.
Bienvenidos.
Welcome, marhaban.
आपका स्वागत है. Mabuhay.
Our family, diverse. Our languages, far-reaching. But our message, always the same.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome to the new face of Nashville General Hospital.
We care for you for life.
According to a report out this week, global warming is bad, but it's going to get much, much worse. The agency that measures weather in Britain says that by 2009, natural factors will no longer be able to keep the impact of human activities in check. Enter Hollywood. It's no longer just Al Gore making movies about global warming. Leonardo DiCaprio is weighing in too. ABC's Brian Rooney reports from Los Angeles.
We face a convergence of crises, all of which are a concern for life.
That's not what you might expect to hear from the 32-year-old actor whose career rose to the top as the Titanic went down.
Take a deep breath when I say.
Nominated 3 times for an Oscar, Leonardo DiCaprio's off-screen passion is saving the world's environment, saving humanity from itself.
Al Gore was the person who explained global warming to you the first time?
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you remember thinking when he explained it to you?
I was terrified. I think I was terrified like anyone would be. And I didn't quite understand the connection that we had as human beings and the fact that we could literally alter our climate in that way.
His documentary, The 11th Hour, presents an argument that basically says, time is running out. You need to listen and believe it. Like his mentor Al Gore in An Inconvenient Truth, DiCaprio acts as the investigator, introducing the thoughts of 54 scientists and analysts.
Global warming is real and it's destructive, and its impact defies the imagination.
No civilization that has exceeded its ecological limits has ever recovered from that.
Not only is it the 11th hour, it's 11:59 and 59 seconds.
What is it, over 90% of the scientific community has a consensus that mankind does have an impact on our climate. I tend to side with them. You know what I mean?
You don't present yourself as an environmental expert.
No, and I'm not an environmental expert.
What he is a famous young man trying not to draw more attention to himself than the issue.
There's a certain stigma with people in the Hollywood industry trying to become experts on this subject.
He arrived at our interview with one of his experts from the film.
If this is the 11th hour, how long is the hour? How much time do we have?
Kenny, how long do we have, buddy?
About 10 more minutes. Nobody knows.
The documentary follows the development of civilization from subsistence living to a crowded world made possible by expending the stored energy of millions of years of fossil fuels. It describes a global economy destroying the natural world that makes life possible.
The UN estimates that by the middle of the century, there may be 150 million environmental refugees at any given time from climate change.
We all talk about saving the environment. In a way, it's misstated because the environment is going to survive. We're the ones who may not survive, or we may survive in a world that we don't particularly want to live in.
DiCaprio has been at this environmental stuff for a while. He interviewed President Clinton for ABC's Earth Day special back in 2000. He was recently featured on the cover of Vanity Fair's Green issue.
What do you do in your own life? You built a house that...
Yeah, with solar panels and everything. It's insulated in the proper ways. I've got clean air, clean water. It's very complicated stuff, but it's a green.
We solicited some viewer questions on our website, and it came down to a few themes. How do poorer families and households that don't have much money, how do they go green? I think there's a perception that this is for the rich.
Well, of course, buying energy-efficient appliances is one thing. You know, changing your light bulbs to energy-efficient light bulbs. Trying to get a car that gets better gas mileage. Keeping your tires properly inflated. There's a million different things that you could do.
Leo, the subject of private jets comes up, and I know you've been asked this before.
I fly commercial as often as I possibly can, unless there's situations within my industry where I have to get to some place during a time frame where it's impossible to fly commercial. Otherwise, I demand that I do fly commercial. Not to mention the fact that if there were a hybrid private plane, I would be on it.
There's a certain amount of hazard to being in your position. You know, Al Gore comes out, he's talking about carbon, and then suddenly somebody gets him because of the size of his house.
I practice what I preach. Ultimately, we keep saying this, don't shoot the messenger. I think people are trying to give a good message out here, and it comes from a good place.
Paper or plastic?
Well, paper, of course.
The directors of the movie were two sisters who previously worked with DiCaprio on short environmental films for his website.
What we tried to do was create a story about humanity and the planet and how we got here, why we're stuck here, and how we can get out of this situation.
You think this still needs to be explained to people, that there's a problem?
Yes, I mean, completely. The main reason is because the response isn't there. You know, this needs to be a major societal change, and it's not happening.
I think we want them to walk away from the film saying, okay, I get it, there is a problem, but what's so amazing and exciting about the time we live in is that there are solutions, the solutions are there.
Paper or plastic?
Neither.
Neither. To bring your own bag.
Healing the damage of industrial civilization is the task of our generation.
After all the dire warnings, the 11th hour presents hope for new technology, new kinds of energy, doing things nature's way, the way a spider weaves a web stronger than steel without burning a lump of coal.
It's not about imposing a certain belief system or a way of life on people in any economic background. It's about just being aware of this issue, and that's the most important thing. And really trying to say, next time I vote, next time I buy something, I'm just going to be aware of what's really going on.
And have people demand change.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is Brian Rooney for Nightline in Hollywood.
The film The 11th Hour opens in New York and Los Angeles next Friday, August 17th. When we come back, the music that inspires. Long before he ever played to sold-out stadiums, what rocked John Mayer?
You gotta cool your crazy schedule. Stop those worries, take some time. Well, there's a place you can unwind. Let's go out back tonight.
Let go of the day. Go out back tonight. For the salads at Tasty Creations. The steaks sit bold, the shrimp grilled sweet. Need time to decide? No worries.
Let's go out back tonight.
Tonight, let go.
There'll be time enough tomorrow.
Go out back.
Your world is wireless, AT&T is wireless. Welcome to America's wireless leader, the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
Pop, pop! Quiz, quiz! Do you know what time it is? School is back, believe it!
Success, you can achieve it!
Guys, we have an easy button.
Now get a 6-pack of Staples one-subject notebooks for just 54 cents. Staples, that was easy.
Still, how does Tidy Cats litter work?
Well, each granule is formulated to absorb quickly and lock in odor better than ever.
So can I invite some friends?
Yes.
Tidy Cats. Multiple strengths for multiple cats.
Your world is wireless, AT&T is wireless. Welcome to America's wireless leader, the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
Breast cancer,
After the shock of being diagnosed, after the first trips to the hospital, millions of women re-enter their daily lives. Now Monday, Robin Roberts returns to ABC's Good Morning America, reporting on American women living with breast cancer.
No matter where you live or what you do, News 2 Predictor makes your life easier.
By 8 o'clock Saturday morning, we'll have a mix of clouds and sun here across.
With an hour-by-hour forecast. Plan ahead with News 2 Predictor.
Take positive steps that will improve your health. Hello, I'm Jack Jensen, certified podologist and founder of Jensen Shoes. Studies show that walking is the best exercise to maintain your health. Walking improves cholesterol, joints, weight loss, diabetes, and overall health. That's why the correct footwear is imperative. Let the experts at Jensen Shoes serve you and improve your life. Unless you experience the difference of Jensen Shoes, you'll never know the comfort you're missing.
News 2 is always on. Connect with WKRN.com and watch News 2 coverage online 24 hours a day. News 2 video provided by ISDN Net, first with voice over IP service.
Nightline continues from New York City with Cynthia McFadden.
We turn now to music. Crowds clamor for him and blues buffs applaud. It's not every musician who so capably succeeds both on the pop charts and among aficionados, but Grammy winner John Mayer is that rare talent. So we wondered, what kind of music does this kind of musician listen to? In other words, what's on John Mayer's playlist?
Music, to me, is more revealing than photographs are when it comes to looking at your past. You know? When I listen to Wrapped Around Your Finger, I listen to my childhood. I hear the first time I ever heard notes in a progression that moved me. You know, the first time I got a guitar, I was 13 years old. My father rented an acoustic guitar from the music store, and I hadn't started taking lessons yet, which it turns out was the best thing for me. I don't do well with instruction.